In this lesson, we're going to write an equation of a line if you're given 2 points. We're going to be writing our equations in slope-intercept form. Basically 3 steps that you need to go through to do this. The first step is to find the slope of the line that passes through the 2 given points. So this is going to require that you know the formula for slope, which is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So the very first thing you'll do is take the 2 points, plug them into the formula, and find the slope of the line. You'll then use the formula for slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, which is written in red there, along with one of the 2 points to find the y-intercept. And the key here is that you just have to have one. And you don't have to do both, and it doesn't matter which point you choose. You give 2 points. Once you know the slope, you can use the slope along with one of the 2 points. And at that point, it becomes what we did in the last lesson, where you were given the slope and 1 point that was on the line. And the last thing, step 3, just substitute the slope that you found in part 1 and the y-intercept that you found in part 2 into the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So part 1, you're finding m, part 2, you're finding b, and in part 3, you just substitute in for m and b, and you'll have your answer. I have 2 examples to work through. The directions would say write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the given points. So the first thing you need to do, step 1, find the slope. This will find the slope, use the formula, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And in this problem, you're doing 7 minus 2 over 5 minus 3. And so the slope here is 5 over 2. So now we know the slope, and we know 2 points that are on the line. So step 2, find the y-intercept. And remember, we have 2 points, so you have 2 things that you could do. You could find the y-intercept using the first point. Okay, so I'll do two things here. I'll do it with the point 3, 2. You use the same formula, mx plus b. And this is what you did in the last lesson. Y is 2, m is 5 halves, x is 3, and you're trying to find the y-intercept b. So just solve. 5 halves times 3 is going to be 15 halves, which is 7.5. Subtract 7.5 from both sides, and you get negative 5.5 is equal to b. Now you could have chosen to use the other ordered pair. Okay, so the other option would have been to use 5, 7 along with the slope of 5 halves. Now you do the same thing. Okay, now y is 7. Okay, m is still 5 halves. X is 5 plus b. And so 5 halves times 5 is 25 halves, or 12.5. When you subtract 12.5 from both sides, you get negative 5.5 equals b. And you can see that we got the same value for b. It didn't matter. And so now we're ready for step 3, which is write the equation. And we now know that m, we found already, was 5/2. b, we just found, is negative 5.5. And so all we do is write into the form y equals mx plus b. M is 5/2, and b is negative 5.5, so we put minus 5.5, and that's your answer. Now, this one you can check and make sure that it's correct. Okay, the way you check it is take 3 and put it in for x, 2 and put it in for y, and make sure you get a true statement. If we put 3 in for x, okay, we get 5/2 times 3, that's 15/2. 15/2 is 7.5. When you subtract 5.5, you get 2, which is what it was in the first order pair. Second order pair, you put 5 in for x, 5/2 times 5 is 25/2 or 12.5. 12.5 minus 5.5 is 7. That's the value of y. If your equation works for both points, you're guaranteed that your answer is correct. Okay, so that's the answer in slope-intercept form. Okay, the only new step here in this lesson is that it's up to you to find the slope. Last lesson, you already had the slope and the y-intercept. You basically did from step 2 down. I have one other example. Okay, we'll go through this example. And again, step 1 is find the slope. And 3 minus negative 1, 3 minus negative 4. 3 minus negative 1 is 4. 3 minus negative 4 is 7. So the slope is 4/7. Okay, step 2. Find the y-intercept. Okay, and you just have to use one point. Okay, it doesn't matter which point you use. This time I'm going to just pick one point. Okay, if I were doing this, I'd probably pick 3, 3 only because they're both positive. So y equals mx plus b. Put 3 in for y. The slope is 4/7. X is also 3. Solve the equation. 4/7 times 3 is 12/7, which is 1 5/7. Now if you subtract 1 5/7 away from 3, you're going to get 1 2/7. And so the last thing that you have to do, step 3, is write the equation. And so again, we have found the slope to be 4/7, the y-intercept to be 1 2/7, and so when you plug it in there, m is 4/7, x plus b, which is positive this time, so 1 2/7. Here's the answer. Now you check it by putting in the ordered pairs. You put negative 4 in, you get negative 16/7, right, which is negative 2 2/7. When you add that to positive 1 2/7, you do get negative 1. So negative 4, negative 1 works. Okay, 3, you put 3 in for x, you get 12/7, okay, which is 1 5/7. 1 5/7 plus 1 2/7 does equal 3. So that works. And again, as long as your equation satisfies both ordered pairs in the problem, your answer is guaranteed to be correct. And so to write an equation for a line given 2 points on the line, you just have to find the slope, then use one of the points to find the y-intercept, and then write the equation.